Here's a thought experiment you can do. Imagine if everyone in the world that has a bank and a bank card suddenly just got deposited unlimited funds. Everyone on the earth. Would people still work? And would work and having a job be more fulfilling if it was just volunteer? If you were just volunteering to, say, work in a cafe or do someone's gardening for them or work in a zoo, anything. Wouldn't it be better if those societal pressures of having to work, you're obligated to work to make the inflated rates, the pressure of that was off, and you could basically pick and choose what you wanted to experience, what skills you wanted to develop, without feeling trapped in a certain job position. Like you still work with contracts and things like that, but you contracted your own hours or negotiated a contract with whoever you were working for. Go, like, I just want a job for this amount of time to volunteer and help you out and learn skills on how to be a chef or whatever skill you want to kind of learn. Wouldn't the world be in a much better place? Because people think, oh no, if we didn't have money and the pressures of having to pay rent and the bills and things like that, without having that as fire under your arse to get you to work, people think that people would just be lazy and not doing anything. But you can't be lazy indefinitely. You might need some time to unfurl, to relax, to find your balance, and to find what really kind of gives you passion in life, what desires you would really want to pursue. Because we don't get to do that, do we? When we're constantly in a mode of working or in that obligated kind of frame of mind, you don't get time to relax and to find out what your soul really wants you to do, or what you might feel more fulfilled in doing. So there's a good thought experiment. Imagine that though. Everyone gets unlimited amount of credit in their bank. It would just like well, it would put an end to a lot of things, wouldn't it? It'd put an end to like robbery and thievery and things like that, because people wouldn't be having to steal something to then go on to sell it. Money would be worthless. So like if you went to go and buy a car or something and try and pay for it, they'd be like, well, there's no point, because money is not going to be worth anything, is it? So we'd be in that kind of sharing things resourcefully, wouldn't we, with one another? Which would be kind of weird. But could we do something like that with the state of the way people are now? I don't know. So I wanted to elaborate on my thoughts about what if everyone in the world all of a sudden had unlimited funds in their bank account
and what would the consequences be. And I think it would be a great premise for a movie. And I'm thinking Ricky Gervais should get involved with that as a director or something, because he did that movie Invention of Lying, didn't he? And I thought that was a cool contrarian type concept to make a movie about. They're the kind of movies I like to watch. Movies that make you have thought experiment, basically. Make you think of things in other ways, in different angles, so you can kind of imagine something other than what you are already used to. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes it's hard to fathom a world, as an example, that functions properly, that isn't corrupt and full of deception and lies. Like, how would that work? Because, you know, that's the whole thing, that we need friction, we need challenges to help our soul grow. So what would a world be like without all these kinds of immense trials and tribulations that we have to go through as a species, as a collective, and as individuals? It's like it's hard to think of a world that works, you know, in harmony with itself. And what would that look like? I would suggest that the friction and the challenges of the world would just kind of change dynamics, you know. There'd just be a different kind of friction that you'd have to deal with in life. Maybe not as much, because I think this world is definitely on the extreme side of challenges, like pretty much overkill with what we have to deal with sometimes, the pressures of life. But anyway, back to the thing that I was talking about initially, the movie premise of all of a sudden everyone gets unlimited funds in their bank account. Like, I would vision it like one morning they would wake up and go to the cash machine, and then it would just be an infinity sign on the screen, and they probably wouldn't know what it meant to begin with, so they would carry on their daily life as they are used to, you know, like going shopping and buying things and going to their jobs and stuff like that. But obviously, with everyone getting unlimited funds, money has become obsolete, hasn't it? So the hierarchy of worth and value has totally changed dynamics. So for one, there wouldn't be so many relationships based on kind of a business transaction. There won't be like brown nosing so much, would there? So how would kind of jobs and the trading of skills actually work? Like, I would, you know, there could be a funny scene within a burger joint, like some guy just goes into a fast food restaurant and asks the person behind the counter to make him a burger, but then they're like, they've realised that they've been set free of the financial burden of debt slavery. So they're like, no, make your own burger, I'm gonna go off and surf or something. So he's there like making a burger in the kitchen in the back, thinking, it's not the same. That's someone else making it. Because people just don't know how to act. Like, as human beings, it's always been a business transaction, hasn't it? Like, how do you get someone to make you a burger without paying them. So like it, you know, with certain other people, they will probably gather in communities and trade skills and things like that. So it'll bring things back to basics, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot of kind of pointless businesses going extinct due to the toxicity of them, and they were only there because of the bottom line of trying to make profit in order to survive in a financially contrived world. Do you know what I mean? So like maybe I would suggest a lot of fast food restaurants would go out of business, and the ones that would stay would be like the ones with actual personality. Like a restaurant, a unique restaurant that has personality, and that people would want to still keep going, so they would just volunteer to work there anyway, because they like the social ability of that, and the idea of people gathering at restaurants to have a good time still, because that's how we operate in it. We want to enjoy ourselves, and going out to things like that, eating out and stuff, is kind of a cool thing that we still want to keep going, I'd have thought.